This is your Mustang Story.
I'm here with Paul Vandenberg, who worked at the Ford plant in Ohio. Hi, Paul.
Good morning.
First, let me ask you this. What plant did you work in?
I worked at the Lorain Assembly Plant,
And what years were you there?
1959 to 1970.
Wow, so you saw some spectacular cars go through.
Absolutely.
Well, tell me about the early years. What was it like when you first started there?
I started out there on the line building front-end assemblies with a 1959 Ford Galaxy.
Wow. How long did you stay at that position and what happened after?
I was probably there about 6 months, and then they retooled the plant, and we started making the 1960 Falcon and Comet model cars. First of the unibodies.
Oh, wow, that was the first of the unibodies.
Absolute first of the unibodies.
Man. And of course, Falcon, precursor to the Mustang, but in some ways.
It was. Mm-hmm.
What did you do with the Falcon?
I worked trim repair. I was moved to trim repair because I was an electrician, and I started working on auto electrical repair in that area.
What was the next area that you worked?
I went to the final repair area, which was at the end of the final assembly line, and I worked there as a electrical repair.
And how long were you at that?
Probably 3 years, maybe 3 years.
What was the next step?
I was promoted to plant electrician, and I worked in maintenance.
So that you went taking care of the building and the facility itself.
Yes, and the equipment.
So-
Major maintenance of the equipment.
What would some people not realize about the assembly line and the plant in Lorain? Tell us some of your unusual stories.
One of the things that most people wouldn't realize is we built one car a minute, 60 an hour. And we did that for 2 10-hour shifts a day, 20 hours, for 5 days a week, and 2 8-hour shifts on weekend, Saturday. So they worked the line 58 hours a week, 2 shifts. And that was just the way it was done. And then on top of that, at the other end of the plant, they built, I believe, 28 Econolines now. The first of the Econolines was built in that plant.
So how many computers were there?
Computers were not used at all. We had no computers whatsoever.
How about robots on the assembly line?
No robots. The robots were men. That was it. We did build some experimental stuff, like what they call a roll welder, which rolls along an area in spot welds at intervals. We tried to automate that in the Econoline division, and it would hang up and tear a drip rail off, and so that was canned. It just didn't work out.
Went back to humans.
Back to humans. They worked the best.
And what were the last years at the plant like?
The last years I worked, I was a superintendent in maintenance, and I was in charge of an area like trim or paint or body or something, final assembly. Some of those areas and I mainly worked all those areas as a supervisor of all the whole-scale trades.
What were some of the tricky areas, or which were the areas that gave you problems on the plant?
You could have problems anywhere if a guy wanted to make problems for you. I guarantee you.
Did that happen often?
Often. Whenever they got tired, things happened.
So if the line workers got tired, something would happen to the line.
Something would happen to the line. Lots of problems.
Your Mustang Story will be right back.
What makes Mustang #1? Personality. Take the 1970 Mustang Mach 1, for instance. It's got recessed taillights, an optional 428 Cobra Jet V8 with a shaker, and a sporty new front end. But most of all, the 1970 Mustang's got personality. What makes Mustang #1? Personality. The 1970 Mustang hardtop, for example. It's got an economical 6 to move you, and that sporty look all around you. But most of all, Mustang's got personality. For 1970, #1, there's Mustang hardtop, Mach 1, and the elegant Grande. Ford gives you better ideas. It's the going thing. Personality.
Now, more of your Mustang Story.
Now tell us about your Mustangs.
My Mustangs.
Yes.
I have a 94 that I bought that somebody had driven pretty hard and put away wet. And I rebuilt that in my garage mainly.
Oh, I want to tell the audience that it's a beautiful, we're sitting right in front of it. It's a beautiful silver, and it's a GT with a tonneau and a spoiler, beautiful black 5-spoke wheels with machine lips and a racing gas cap. It's absolutely spectacular to look at. But tell us all the things you've done to it.
Okay, number one, we started out, we tore it down completely, ripped out the inside, everything was taken apart. We started there, and the body was sound, and that was my main concern. I bought it and put it in my garage, and it sat there for about a year while we tore it apart, my wife and I. Then I started rebuilding it, piece by piece, actually, and we replaced the wheels, the brakes, the engine, the interior, the hood.
It's really beautiful.
Tail light, turn signals, brake light, everything, exhaust system, the whole bit has all been replaced.
But now the motor is kind of special. You want to tell us about that?
Yeah, it's a 347 stroker. It's got aluminum heads, and it puts out about 410 horsepower at the rear wheels. And it also has about 410 pounds of torque at the rear wheels. And its supercharger puts out 13.5 pounds at 5,500 RPM. And I'm carrying a 6-speed manual transmission with a double-plated clutch.
I don't mean to be too personal, Paul, but can you tell us how old you are?
I'll be 87 this week. I started on this car when I was in the mid-70s.
It's absolutely amazing to see this car in person. You have another Mustang, though, don't you?
Yes. I have a 2014 that I'd use, and it's a convertible also, and I use as an everyday driver.
Well, you live in New Mexico.
Yes.
So a convertible comes in real handy.
Yep, I never put the top down.
And two.
Normally it's too hot. You got 2 seasons, spring and fall.
That's right.
In the winter you don't put it down, in the summer.
So what's your plan? What's your plans for your next Mustang? What's the future hold?
Well, I'm seriously looking around, and I might buy some. I don't know. But the thing about it is I haven't got any room.
I think we're all facing that. I think a lot of our listeners would fall into that category if we just had another barn to put them in.
That's right. I need to rent a space.
Well, Paul, thanks for joining us on the Mustang Life. Really glad we finally got together. I've been trying to get you for a couple of weeks at least, and I really enjoyed hearing about the plant and about this fantastic Mustang in particular. This is just absolutely a wonder. Oh, wait, tell me about this morning. You were coming and somebody, I think, thought your car wasn't fast enough.
Well, I turned off of the street here in the Northeast Heights on another main street, and I was in second gear, and I went to third and popped the clutch and just about burned the back tires off this thing. So I looked in the rearview mirror, and all I could see was smoke. So it was time to get off of it.
So for those of you that think it's too late for me to get a Mustang and get it on,
it's never too late.
It's never too late.
That's right.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate your time.
Your Mustang Story will be right back.
Mustang, the original. Mustang, 3 new ways to answer the call of Mustang. Start with the new Mustang 2+2 Fastback, molded for motion. This one is designed to be designed by you. Mustang's optional new tilt-away steering wheel leaps aside to let you out or in. It also adjusts to 9 different driving positions. Now, here's the new Mustang Hardtop. Longer, with a wider grip on the road. Choose the 6 or any of 4 V8s. And the new Mustang Convertible, with new features like turn indicators recessed in the hood. Answer the call of Mustang, the original and still the lowest priced car of its kind. You're ahead in a Ford all the way.
Your Mustang Story is a production of Spirited USA LLC, all rights reserved. The views and opinions expressed on Your Mustang Story are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily represent Spirited USA or its sponsors. Send questions and comments to contact@yourmustangstory.com. And please like, follow, and subscribe everywhere you find us. Thanks.